The airline industry has always been a volatile business, marked by fierce competition, high operating costs, and susceptibility to external shocks. Today, we're going to examine 15 American airlines that are teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, a situation that's become increasingly concerning in our post-pandemic world. Let's start with Mesa Airlines, a regional carrier that's been struggling significantly. Once a robust partner for major airlines, Mesa has faced mounting challenges with pilot shortages and increasing operational costs. Their financial statements show a concerning trend of declining revenue and increasing debt, with their stock price dropping over 80% in the past year. The company recently lost its partnership with American Airlines, dealing a severe blow to its already fragile financial position. Next up is Frontier Airlines, which might surprise some people. Despite their ultra-low-cost model, Frontier has been grappling with substantial losses. Their aggressive expansion strategy during the pandemic has left them with high debt levels, and their fuel hedging strategy hasn't paid off as expected. The airline's attempt to merge with Spirit Airlines failed, leaving them in a precarious position as they try to compete with larger carriers. Speaking of Spirit Airlines, they're third on our list. The budget carrier has been facing significant headwinds since their failed merger attempts, first with Frontier and then with JetBlue. Their financial reports show concerning levels of cash burn, and their aircraft maintenance costs have been rising faster than revenue growth. The airline's ultra-low-cost model is being challenged by increasing competition and rising operational costs. Eastern Airlines, in its current incarnation, is fourth on our list. This isn't the same Eastern Airlines from the golden age of aviation, but rather a small carrier trying to capitalize on the historic name. They've been struggling with route profitability and have had difficulty maintaining consistent schedules, leading to customer dissatisfaction and revenue problems. Fifth is Sun Country Airlines, which has been facing challenges despite its niche market position. Their hybrid business model, combining scheduled service with charter operations, hasn't provided the financial stability they hoped for. The airline's seasonal route structure makes it particularly vulnerable to market disruptions. Moving to number 6, we have Via Airlines, a regional carrier that's been struggling with maintaining its route network. Their attempts to expand into new markets have been met with operational difficulties and financial strain. The airline's ability to compete with larger regional carriers has been severely compromised. Seventh on our list is World Atlantic Airlines, primarily a charter operator that's been facing increasing competition from both scheduled carriers and other charter services. Their aging fleet has led to higher maintenance costs, and their charter-focused business model has become less viable in the current market environment. California Pacific Airlines comes in at number 8. This small carrier has been struggling since its launch, with multiple operational suspensions and financial restructuring attempts. Their attempts to serve secondary markets in California haven't generated the expected revenue, leading to mounting losses. Number 9 is Swift Air, now operating as iAero Airways. Despite their focus on charter operations and government contracts, they've been facing increasing financial pressure. Their debt structure and operational costs have become increasingly burdensome. 10th on our list is Dynamic Airways, which has attempted to reinvent itself multiple times but continues to face financial difficulties. Their focus on international charter operations hasn't provided the stability they need to maintain profitable operations. Coming in at number 11 is Great Lakes Airlines, which has already ceased operations but is worth mentioning as it attempts to restructure and potentially return to service. Their previous business model of serving essential air service routes proved unsustainable. 12th is Southern Airways Express, which has been struggling despite its focus on essential air service routes. The airline's small aircraft operation model has been challenged by rising costs and pilot shortage issues. Number 13 is Air Choice One, another regional carrier facing similar challenges. Their dependence on government subsidies through the Essential Air Service program hasn't provided enough financial stability to ensure long-term viability. 14th on our list is Advanced Air, which has been struggling with its charter and scheduled service operations. The company's attempt to expand into new markets has stretched its financial resources thin. Finally, at number 15, we have Boutique Air, which has been facing increasing financial pressure despite its niche market position. Their focus on small community air service hasn't generated sufficient revenue to offset rising operational costs. These airline struggles can be attributed to several common factors. First, the ongoing pilot shortage has hit regional carriers particularly hard, forcing them to reduce schedules and abandon routes. Second, fuel costs have been volatile, making it difficult to maintain profitable operations, especially for smaller carriers without sophisticated hedging programs. Third, the post-pandemic recovery hasn't been uniform across all market segments, leaving some carriers more exposed than others. Fourth, competition from larger carriers has intensified as they've moved into markets previously served by regional airlines. The impact of these potential bankruptcies could be significant. Many smaller communities could lose air service entirely, as these airlines often serve markets that larger carriers find unprofitable. This could lead to increased isolation for some regions and potential economic impacts on local communities. Moreover, the consolidation of the airline industry could accelerate if these carriers fail, potentially leading to higher fares and reduced competition. The loss of these airlines could also affect the pipeline for pilot development, as regional carriers traditionally serve as training grounds for pilots who eventually move to major airlines. Looking ahead, the survival of these airlines will likely depend on their ability to secure additional funding, restructure their operations, or find strategic partners. Some may need to completely reinvent their business models to remain viable in today's challenging aviation environment. The situation also raises questions about the sustainability of the current regional airline model in the United States. With increasing costs and operational challenges, the industry may need to evolve significantly to ensure the continuation of air service to smaller markets. For consumers, it's important to be aware of these situations when booking travel, especially for future dates. While federal regulations provide some protection for ticket holders in the event of airline bankruptcies, it's still advisable to use credit cards for purchases and to stay informed about the financial health of carriers you plan to fly with.